So today I've been going over a conversation that I've been having over Facebook. Here it is, I've printed out. It's about 12 sheets, small print, front. You know, first of all, for those of you who know about this channel or even follow it, I'm non-religious. I believe that religion is more of a hindrance to society and the world, so let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Anyway, the main reason why we're having this conversation with some friends of mine, most of them either religious or say they're non-religious but still follow a ton of religious dogma. Basically, I was commenting on an article I read in the Huffington Post that went over a Georgia father who beat his 5-month-old son to death. And when I say beat to death, I don't mean shook, I don't mean hit once, I don't mean he hurt him, I mean he beat his son until he had traumatic brain injury, skull fractures, and a broken leg. Kid, 5 months old. Just a kid. So, being pissed off at reading this article, I decided to share it with people that I knew and with the, leave it with the following statement. Sorry, I should probably put in that he said this was okay because the Bible told him it was okay. So there's that. So here's what I wrote. This is a good example of why I take a hard stance against the Bible. This kid had a broken leg, brain and skull damage. That's not discipline. It's not involuntary. This is a blatant disregard for the child's well-being. It is child abuse, period. This guy should get life. Oh, I should also mention this guy only got 18 years in prison. This guy only got 18 years. And to make matters worse, the guy's photo in this article, he's smiling. He's in jail looking to a camera. He's killed his own son and he's smiling. I'll post his picture up. I'll stick it probably right there. Just here, take a look at his face. I mean, he doesn't even care. I can't fathom. Anyway, so I figure that's a pretty easy stance to talk about, etc. And I actually ended up getting a decent amount of backlash from the friends of mine that are religious, which I thought was very surprising. So I want to go over a couple of those things written out here. Now, first of all, one of the things the person said is that this person is just trying to take blame off of themselves and trying to put it to the Bible so he wouldn't get in as much trouble or whatever, however you want to put it. That's not my problem. The problem is that most of these guys who do this, let their kids die from denying them medical care, beat them to death, murder people, that's mostly, I guess, as far as the Quran goes. These people believe this. If the Bible was just used as a reason that, oh, I killed someone because the Bible told me to, no one would take it seriously. But the thing is, these people fervently believe that it's okay to do this stuff. That's a problem. So that's the assumption I'm making here. I'm making the assumption that this guy is actually believing in what he is doing. There you go. So that's my take on it. I actually had one person make the comment that I wouldn't be having this rant if the guy blamed it on natural selection. Their comment, to put it exactly, is if he had beat his child and the child died because he was not strong enough to fight back, he could blame it on Darwinism or natural selection. Really? I mean, do I even have to address this? To anyone who has learned anything about evolution, natural selection, or basically has common sense in here, do I even need to address this? It's a joke. I just want to throw my hands up. And the thing is, it was multiple people fighting me. Multiple people. Not one person, not one fanatic. No, these are multiple people. Most of them claiming to be non-religious, that they don't care, they're impartial. To me, they're mostly the type of people who are like, I want to avoid conflict at all times, I want to try to keep everybody happy. Which, when people are doing bad things, you want to make everyone happy, is really stupid. Another person writes, I can blame the Bible for this. It's obvious enough that the Bible says, those who spare their son or daughter the rod hates them, and thou shalt discipline them accordingly. We'll get into more on that a little bit later in this talk. Let me give you another good example. This is a news article that I also read. I went and looked it up. I said, let's take a look at this. This guy got 18 years for beating to death his 5-month-old son. So I just went on the internet and looked up life and parole, but life without parole for anyone who's beat son to death or shot them or whatever. Bunch of stuff pops up. I had an example, posted it right here. Anyone who kills their son, essentially, just in cold blood, gets life without parole. You go to jail for life for beating to death someone who can't fight back. But if you say it was because the Bible told you so, because the Bible is such a wonderful place to get your morals from, you only get 18 years in prison. And guess what? You can smile during your friggin' photo. Your friggin' jail photo. You can smile right into it because you just got out of life without parole by saying that God told you it was okay. So yeah, when I say that I'm really pissed that the Bible is used in this, I hate that it's used to reduce a sentence. I hate that it's used as a reason to cause damage on other people. I pretty much disagree with that. I don't understand why people take a book that was written 2,000 to 6,000 years ago, rewritten about 400 years ago, and translated into over 400 different versions. Yeah, I really don't understand where people get their life morals and life direction from that sort of thing. Yeah, moving on. Then I had this person who came in and said that, well, what about the person who said that they learned how to snipe, who went on a shooting spree? They learned how to snipe from Halo, from playing Halo. Now, my problem with this is that it's an example basically comparing apples to Slinkies. A lot of people see the Bible and worship the Bible and see it as an authority figure. It is written word. It is very important. They need to follow it. And when that tells them that it's okay to beat a child, or it's okay to do something that we would consider wrong, they feel like they can go ahead and do it. They have the grant of authority. They have it there in front of them that it is all right to do that. When you play something that's a game, such as video games, any type of video games, or movies, and you see something, those don't claim to be teaching you anything. They don't claim that they are truthful. They claim that they are stories. They don't claim to be an authority figure of any kind. That's why 99% of people don't do that unless they're completely bonkers in the head. But you're comparing basically an authority figure to someone who's not an authority. This is like a doctor coming to you and saying, you need to have major surgery. You're going to think about that. You're actually going to go, I probably need major surgery because you're a doctor, you're important. If a child comes to you and says you need major surgery, 99% of the time you're going to go, you're a child. The person then tried to make the argument that essentially the same thing, someone giving direction or basically being influenced by something that they do or they like. I can see a very minute touch. Yes, people can be influenced by what they do, but the point is the Bible's telling you that's the way you should live your life, that's the way you should do it, this is right, everything else is wrong. Other things just are there. I mean, I can be influenced by grass, trees, a plane, wind, weather, whatever. The Bible's the only one saying, I'm right, do as I say. And then I get a lot of these people. Now this is what really gets on my nerves. Here, I'll read you a direct quote. Even in the passage that the man was using in his defense, which is spare the rod, spoil the child, never insinuated that you should kill your child. Thus, the flaw is in the man. I'm sorry, I didn't know we were defending beating children all of a sudden. I really dislike these people who are so desperate to defend the Bible on every aspect that they go into these things where it's like, well, it didn't say kill them. I mean, it said beat them. Certainly, beat them to a pulp. Why is this even an issue? This completely baffles my mind. Why is it so hard to understand that beating children, period, is wrong? You don't need to beat your child to raise them properly. My father never hit me. My mother never hit me. They never had a reason to. I never had an authority figure hit me. It was unnecessary. Didn't need to happen, and there's lots of other people like me. And if you feel the need that you just have to beat your kids all the time, heck, even look at the comedian C.K. Lewis when he says, why are children the only people we're allowed to hit? They're the people most damaged by hitting, and he's absolutely right. And we have people blatantly defending the Bible, telling people to beat your children. What? This is the... I don't even know how to respond to that. It's so unintelligibly foolish and ignorant. It gets under my skin. I'm getting hot under the collar just thinking about it. I'm just so mad at that. So then I had some people who told me that they had found an area where it gave specific directions for how to use the rod. I was basically discussing that regardless, basically what I was just talking about, beating children is wrong. And he goes, oh, but there's specific directions on how to beat your child, which of this, of course, you know, makes all of it okay. So he tells me, look up Proverbs 23:13 through 14. And being the diligent person that I am, I looked it up. Which is, as quoted from the Century King James Version, 21st century, of course. Which is another thing that bothers me, why there's so different versions of the Bible. Another rant. Verse 13 going into 14. Withhold not correction from the child. For if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from evil. Yeah, that seems really specific to me. First of all, you know, when you're gonna beat your kids, make sure you don't kill them. That's pretty much your only limit. Break their legs, break their arms, smash their face into utter oblivion. But as long as they're not dead, go you! Let me give some examples of rods we could use. And I guess I could use this as a rod. It's kind of a packing implement that I received recently. It's not, doesn't really hurt that bad. I mean, I guess you could hit, it's just rod shaped. It's got round. How about this? This is a rod. It's got a squeegee on the end. I mean, I guess you could, scrub the devil out of him. And we got I don't know, I think it's a piece of molding. It's not, it's kind of flat on one end, but it's basically a piece of wood. I mean, surely this wouldn't hurt your kid. Sure, he'd be fine, and it wouldn't kill him. And it wouldn't kill him, so it's okay, right? Right? How about this? This has kind of got a round shape to it here at the end. Is this a rod? Can I hit my kid with this? Jimmy! Hey, Jimmy! You've been bad! Now, enough comedy about the rod. I had one person on here too who came up and said, the rod is symbolic of a shepherd's rod, which was used to guide the sheep in one direction or another, not beat them. Well, isn't it a shame the Bible didn't actually point that out? It leaves a lot to the open imagination. So people who are insane can use it as they see fit. Is it a good thing? No. I see words like this are ways of people basically saying, oh, there's bad things in the Bible? Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a shepherd's rod and it's for guiding sheep, etc. And even if that was true, the point is, it can be misconstrued very easily by someone who's not familiar with it and do things like this. And that's wrong. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care who you are. That's wrong. Don't beat your children. I don't care who tells you to do it.